Oh, no, no, no. Would you guys look at this? Would you guys look at this? Can you see this? Do you see this? Oh, no. Oh, no, my videos. It's evil. It's pure evil. It's got the mark of the beast. Or, maybe that's just a number that people are superstitious about because they don't fully understand what it means or the context behind. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh! So, no doubt you've seen the title of this video and you're probably as curious about the question as I am, or maybe you're just furious that someone would even suggest the possibility of an R-rated Christian movie and you've come here to tell me what you really think. Well, regardless, I'm glad you're here because I think this is a very interesting topic to discuss. See, my brain started turning on this when I listened to a podcast from the OverThinkers. It was entitled the same thing, Should Christian Films Be Rated R? And they went into a really amazing discussion. I don't fully agree with everything that they said, but it was a really interesting discussion and I think good things to think on. They talked about violence and language and even nudity, and is it okay to be in a Christian film? They also talked about at what point is art responsible for condoning certain behaviors. It was a fascinating discussion. I don't think I'm going to quite get into everything that they did, but I do have a couple thoughts on this subject that I want to get the pot stirring on this. So for decades, Christian films and the Christian label has been permeated with the idea of family friendliness. If you're going to get a Christian product, it's going to be family friendly. Fun for the entire family, right? The verse thought is obviously it should be family friendly. Jesus loved the little children. His gospel is for all people, so why wouldn't it be family friendly? If we take a look at the Bible, take any book in this Bible here, and it's not going to be family friendly. There is a lot of violence, there's a lot of sexual talk, there's a lot of language, and it's all throughout. The Bible is not a family friendly book. There's even parts and whole books of the Bible that we won't teach from at the church because of their lack of family friendliness. I'm looking at you, Song of Songs. So, why is that? So the Bible's not family friendly because it's God's word to a sinful and broken people on how to live in a fallen world. Of course it's not family friendly. Sin is never family friendly. Sin is rated R. But also, it's a very important thing that needs to be discussed, especially within your Christian walk. What ends up happening is there are a lot of Christian films out there that have things not going so well for the protagonist. They find God, and then everything gets better. Well, guess what? That's not life. That's not how this fallen and broken world works, and people know that. Plus, when these Christian films do try to deal with heavier, weightier topics, they fail so miserably and feel so disingenuous because they have to keep it squeaky clean. Take Fireproof, for example. This is a film about a guy's marriage who's on the rocks. He's dealing with a pornography addiction, but though they're dealing with these topics, they can't even bring themselves to say the word pornography in the film. They talk about it as internet trash. And thus, to the world, it comes off as disingenuous. It comes off as fake, as if these people don't actually know what they're talking about. Have they ever really gone through this type of addiction before? Let's just ask the question, what if he wasn't able to beat his pornography addiction? What if his wife actually did cheat on him? What if the marriage failed? Is God still good? Of course God's still good. God's the same yesterday, today, and forever. God's always going to be good. But you don't deal with that. Everything gets better. And on the flip side of this, you have films, say like A Star is Born, that deal with addiction in a just a beautifully tragic way that hits home and connects with people. But because it's made in a secular market, it has no hope. Because you don't have God. God is the source of hope. And so you have films full of hope but without any substance, and on the other side have films full of substance but without any hope. So I think we've very much fallen down as Christians as a whole in being able to connect with society because we don't want to deal with the harshness of reality, the R-rated world in which we live. But does that mean that Christian films should be rated R? So, the thing is, one of my favorite eras of cinema is from the 1930s, 1940s, early 50s. Now, most people know of the Comic Book Code Authority, but not as many people know about the film code. There was a film code very similar that limited what types of movies and what types of content could be shown in the theater. Now, I'm not saying that I wish we could go back to that at all by any means. It was extremely limited. But the thing is that even though they had the code in place, the stories that were being told and the films that were being made didn't compromise on their weighty materials. They found ways to tell the stories within the guidelines of the code. We don't see that nowadays. Whatever happened to the G-rated adult films of the past? You take an example of even the height of Christian film power, like some of the biggest biblical epics. They were called biblical epics for a reason. 10 Commandments, Ben-Hur. These are not family films by today's standards. Not by any means. And yet, they dealt with subject and material in a very appropriate way. We don't see that anymore, and I think that's unfortunate. I think that we've gotten away from. Now when you hear of a G-rated film, you immediately think that it's going to be made for kids, that it's going to be speaking down to the audience. When the only difference between an adult film and a child's film is the tonality. That should be the... But, alas and alack, you know. So this brings us back to the original question, should Christian films be rated R? Not inherently, I don't think, but nor should they be thought of as family friendly. I think that there are ways to explore more adult material without making the film rated R. However, Christian films have continuously failed to explore the reality of the world that we live in today. Now, I get it. There are people who want to just sit down and enjoy a fun film. They don't want it to be weighty and heavy, and they want to escape from reality, not watch entertainment that is based off their reality. Well, sure, that's fine. Then these Christian films should be making comedies. Don't present yourself as a life-changing drama when you're not. Don't present yourself as if this is reality when it is not. Consequently, next time there's an R-rated Christian movie that comes out, let's maybe not judge it for being vile and vulgar on its face, because we have to remember that God didn't come for the righteous, but He came for those who know that they're sinners. Should our art reflect that?